trauma anniversaries. We all know that when it gets to that point in the year, our mood just kind of goes, yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, uh, the date itself can actually be a trigger. It's because that the way our brains store information. The brain stores memories that it believes are important, memories that tell us how to react and when to be afraid, and what to feel in a situation depending on the memory. An example of this would be the memory of a rape containing information to be aware of, say, strange men at night in dark parking lots. Um, our brain stores this information to keep us safe in future situations, that whole learning from the past thing. Um, and I have to scroll down, I'm sorry, I wrote down notes. Symptoms that may crop up around trauma anniversaries, there are three main ones, and they are re-experiencing, avoidance, and arousal. Re-experiencing. Um, Flashbacks, nightmares, fear, same feelings, that kind of thing. A lot of emotions tend to crop up around trauma anniversaries because that is part of the memory that's stored. Um, Avoidance. Um, Avoiding things that remind you of the trauma or remind you of a trigger of the trauma, if that makes sense. Um, Examples of that would be people, places, social situations, events. Um, I try to avoid, like, kind of back to that, avoid dark parking lots at night, be fearful. Number three, arousal is the third main symptom, and it's typically nervousness, on edge. It can include panic attacks, um, just because the emotions are running so high that you can't control it, or things like that. Believe it or not, I did do something useful with my time, and I came up with a list of things you can do about it. Um, for me, reading books are really good. Um, I kind of like reading, um, I wouldn't say they're horror novels, but they're kind of thriller novels. I really like Ted Dekker and Frank Peretti. Um, they write a lot of, it, it's kind of a thriller, a mystery, and adventure kind of all combined. I just really like the combination. Because there's usually, if there is violence, it's simply put, and it's not triggering to me, so I really like that. Uh, Visiting a grave, if it involves um, someone else getting hurt, or you're really missing someone, or anything in that category. Donating to charity. This I haven't personally had experience with that, but a friend of mine does do that every year. Um, I know he likes donating to write Love on Her Arms, and I think it's the Hope Suicide Hotline or something. Those are the two he normally donates to, because they are things that if they weren't there for him, he probably wouldn't be here, kind of thing. Because they are things that helped him. He wants to make sure others have that option. Um, Writing about it. Writing about it is absolutely wonderful. It actually, I don't know if you guys know what EMDR is, but if you do know what that is, it it works in the same part of the brain and helps you reprocess things similar to the way EMDR does it. Um, when I do something like that, I write out every detail I can think of. And, like, have you ever written a paper for a class where you're just like, I need another paragraph kind of thing, and you just put every little detail you can into its own long, drawn out sentence? Writing like that is really good for something like this, because then you remember every detail and it helps your brain to virtually reprocess it. But the thing about it is, it can be triggering in itself. So either, well, you should do it in a safe place. Um, but what was I gonna say? Dang it. Stupid memory loss. Dang it, PTSD. I'm gonna get a beating. um, yeah, so writing helps you to process things better, and when you're done writing it, some people can't even read their stuff through because it can trigger them. Writing itself may not be triggering, but reading it through, so be careful about that. But if I write something like that and I know it's going to be triggering, I'll rip the page out of my journal and I will literally take like a lighter, flick it on, and burn it. Usually somewhere where it's not going to catch things on fire. So write about it. You can talk about it to someone. That's a really common approach. For some people, it doesn't work because they can't put like the things they see in flashbacks or the way they feel into words. So that could be a problem, which is why writing usually helps. Because it uses a completely different part of your brain to write something versus to say something. Um, you can help someone else. I Something I really like doing is I like helping people move, partially because it gives me an excuse to get out of the house. I can be in a social situation where it's limited people, so I can control my triggers and everything. And I get to do um, physical labor, so it's kind of like working out for me. Um, Being with family and friends, always, always, always a good idea. For me personally, that's a really good idea because if I get really, really upset about something, I just want to go and self harm, and I have gone pretty far not doing it so far. Or, well, I've gone a good amount of time without doing it, so I'm kind of proud of myself for that. Back to the physical labor thing, though. You can go for a run or go to the gym. I know some people that can't do that. I actually have knee problems because I tore tendons in my knee 3 or 4 years ago, and it didn't heal correctly because I had to wait 6 weeks to see a doctor. I know a lot of people have bodily injuries that make it so they can't run. You can go to the gym, you can lift weights, you can do yoga, you can do what's that new thing? Zumba. That's it. Modern movement, dance class, ballroom dancing even can be really relaxing because your brain's not thinking about it. It's just an action. It's kind of like it shuts down the emotional part of your brain as a general rule, or it wears that down so your brain processes the emotions, if that makes sense. Yeah. So if you guys have anything to add, you can leave it below in the comments or message me. I will talk to you guys later. Love you all. Bye.